Hello, YouTubers! I'm not an expert, and today we're not going to talk about this plane. I just left it there. What we're going to talk about is my new workbench. And you may have watched some of my other videos and seen I had an old beat-up Harbor Freight workbench. Well, in secret, I've been building a new one. So let's start. I'll go top to bottom. I just want to describe what I did, where I got my ideas, so that if you're thinking about making a workbench, here's some more ideas. Okay, well, we'll start with the top. The top is beech. It's a big beech panel that I bought at a store called Floor and Decor. They sell tile and flooring, of course. And I guess decor items. I didn't see any, but they probably have them. And it was 1.5 inches thick. There's 1.5 inches by 30 inches by 5 feet. And my table was 5 feet long, which fits in my very small work area. So what I did was bought it and cut it in half, glued it together to make a 3-inch thick beech top. Now, see if we can get in here close, and you can see that it's made, that's just some dust. It's made of short pieces. Let's find a joint. There's a joint. They are, can you see that? They're finger jointed together, which is the way a lot of stuff is made. Home Depot and Lowe's sell, I can't remember what it's called. It's the Asian rubber wood. They sell countertops made of that in the same sort of dimensions. They're fairly inexpensive. I paid for this top, I paid $130. And that's about what I would have had to pay for this much ash. This much beech would have been considerably more, at least double from the store. So I got it in beech, and it happened to be a good size. They do sell them in 24-inch widths by 6 or 8 feet long. Okay, the vise, I made the vise out of some ash left over from my Moxon vise project. So it has 1.75 inches, that's 1.5 inches thick. I planed it down. And then the back plate here is 3/4 inch of ash. I bought this on Amazon from the Amazon Prime Day. So it's a 9-inch face vise. It was a big moth. Startled me. 9-inch. Now, when you buy those, be aware, the 9-inch dimension is from the outside here to the outside here. And then the two rods, which are here, oops, I'm pointing my camera right, here and here, are 7 inches apart. So it actually came and said 7 inches on the box. So I thought they'd sent me the wrong item. But after measuring and looking at the dimensions on a lot of them on Amazon, I think this is really a 9-inch, and when you order 9-inch, that's the size you should expect. 9-inch between the full widths. And I think it came out to be a good size for a 5-foot table. This is 13 inches long. Okay, let's look at the back. Because it's only 15 inches, and my old table was 20, I went ahead and built a tool well. Because I'm a very cluttered person, and this hopefully, at least for a little while until it's full, will keep things from falling off the back of the, back of the bench. All right, let's go look at how I built the legs, the assembly. Okay, now I copied this idea from Rob Cosman. These are 4 layers of plywood and some glue. They can get all the glue scraped off. I'm not big on the aesthetics. So this is 4 inches of 3/4 inch sandy plywood, SANDE, from Home Depot. You could use ACX. Rob recommends Baltic birch, but you really can't get that anymore. So you can see from the construction, this piece only goes to here. This one's full length. This one's short. This one's full length. And then the alternating on the sides. These go all the way across, and then there's a short one, so that you get this finger joint, or a box joint kind of a joint. Now, I think when Rob Cosman does his, he puts the 2 long ones in the center, so it makes sort of a tenon. But I kind of prefer to do it alternating. Doesn't really matter. And you can see here on the end, I used staples to hold the plywood together while it was gluing. And then once I had it fully assembled, I clamped them. This shape, being cross was at the top, cross braces at the bottom, would have been too hard to glue up in a clamp as 4 layers thick. And then I put casters on it so I can pull it out to clean behind it, which would be really nice. I got those on Amazon for about $35. There are a lot of different sets. They rate this set of 4 at 800 pounds, which I think should be plenty. That's 200 pounds a corner. The rails, I'll show you the back rail. Let me move a little bit. So the rails don't have any staples. I just glued and clamped those. They're also, well, they're not quite 4 inches. They're 3 7/8. That way you've got the curve of the blade. And when you get done cutting a sheet of plywood, you'll end up with, one full piece instead of one kind of half piece. It doesn't really matter. I ended up using more than a sheet and a half to build this whole table. So you're going to have plenty of plywood if you buy 2 sheets. You can see what I did. There's 4 layers. So I drilled a 2-inch hole through 3 layers before I glued them. I made a little jig on my drill press so that I could get the hole in the same place every time. Then I took basically the donut hole, this piece. I glued 3 of them back together, and then I cut them in half on the bandsaw to make sort of a half circle wedge there so that the bolt and nut has something to go against. And that's a 3/8 by 8-inch bolt. They got at Lowe's. You can get anywhere in a couple washers to spread the load out as much as possible. And then once you tighten this up, if you tighten it up, you've got to tighten it quite a bit. And this sandy plywood is real soft. So I think it sort of compresses a bit. It's soft. Let's look at it real close here. We can see it's got 5 big layers and then 2 thin veneers on the outside of each one. And these veneers, whatever wood this is, I think it's eucalyptus maybe, I'm not sure. It's very soft. It's a very soft wood, so it's easy to scratch or dent, but I do think it would probably make good kitchen cabinets. There are very few voids. There are some, but very few. But I think a sheet of ACX plywood would work just as good. It might be even a little heavier. And that might produce some real good results. Let's take a look up here. I've just bolted it with some 5/16 bolts to the top so I could remove that if I want to. What else is there to show you? So I copied this design from watching Rob Kosman's video and looking on Reddit and a few other places online where people had built a bench of his style. So I didn't buy his plans, but if you're a plans person and you need plans to make something like this, he sells them, I think about $20. They're probably really nice. Rob Kosman he's kind of a detail guy. So I'm sure they're really high quality, but I managed just to kind of figure it out on my own from looking at it, how to make it. So I went ahead and just built my own. I'm not selling them to anybody. Probably ought to round those feet off a little bit, make them prettier. Also, this is stiff enough that it will let you know where the parts of your garage floor are not flat. It's really noticeable. If I move this out in the middle of the garage floor, it wobbles. If I put it over here, rock solid. Okay, let's take a look from back up on top again before we get done. So hopefully I'll be happier with this. Total cost, let's see, it was $129 for the beach. And I spent about maybe another $129. Let's see, the sandy plywood was $65 a sheet, so that's $130. So that's $260. And then there was some hardware, and I probably used a little more than 2 bottles, 16-ounce bottles of glue. I bought a gallon, actually, so I used about half a gallon of glue. So you're going to want some glue. You glue all this up. I put a lot of glue in it. Anyway, look forward to using this to make some projects. My neighbor just approached me about making a table for her. So maybe I'll make a video with that. Maybe I won't. That's all I got for now. If you need ideas on making your own workbench, this is one way of doing it. You kind of got to decide for yourself what you want. All right, we'll catch you later.